This episode of Laugh With Me, a podcast with Jeremy Odem, is brought to you by Celebrate Your Memorial. Have you ever been curious on what your family, friends, and coworkers will say at your funeral? Be curious no more with Celebrate Your Memorial. At Celebrate Your Memorial, take a week-long vacation while we set the table for a memorial of your life. Everyone you've ever known will be invited, memorial planned, and plenty of time for everyone to say their final words. Once they are completed, you'll proudly return from the dead to thank everyone for attending. Open or closed casket options are available. Celebrate Your Memorial, a proud sponsor of Laugh With Me, a podcast with Jeremy Odem. Welcome back. It's a brand new episode. This is Laugh With Me, a podcast with Jeremy Odem. I'm your host, J.O. Oh, it's good to be back here post first half of 2025. Does anybody else count the year like that? You get to July 4th, and then we're calling it the first half of the year's done. Now, I'm not basing it 100% off the amount of days before the 4th or the amount of days after the 4th. I'm just 100% looking at it as, you know what, July 4th is a good middle ground. So first half 2025 has been completed. You made it. For some of us, that's a pretty big deal. It's been a go in this first half of 2025. So looking forward to the second half to see what's up. And if hopefully you're listening to this episode right here, first full week of July, happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day, happy birthday, America. There's a lot of you. Those of you that listen to the pod outside of the United States, whenever your birthday is, your country's birthday, just go back to this episode and think of it as your country's birthday and me wishing you happy birthday. So, you know what? To your country, happy birthday. Japan, starting to pick up. The show's starting to pick up in Japan, which is different. That's a new one for us. So, Johnny, is the show translated? Is it kind of like TV shows in other countries? Is the pod being translated in Japanese over there, or is it we just have some Americans listening to the pod over there? I don't know. Pretty cool though. Thank you to the listeners in Japan, and happy birthday to America. I do about the same thing every 4th of July. Same thing. And I'm not saying that with angst. I'm saying that with the love of consistency and the love of the friends that I get to enjoy it with. Our friend of the pod, you've heard him many, many times, Eric, who's given us all of his stories from Europe and everywhere else. His parents, they throw a heck of a barbecue. So we've enjoyed going there and hanging out, and the kids, the kids have grown literally from babies to teenagers where they're now going to this barbecue on the 4th of July. So it's been a lot of fun. This year, new addition to the party, okay? Actually, 2 new additions. We're going to get to the second one later in the pod, but the first new addition, shot some darts out on the front porch. That was fun. Never shot darts on the front porch before. Actually, not a bad place to do it, too. Weather wasn't too bad. Got a little hot on the porch. The air doesn't circulate quite as well there. It was on the side of the house. And then there's, the neighbor's house is kind of next to it there, too. So, probably, what? If I had any notes for you, Eric. Not being a jerk. Okay, first of all, not being a jerk. But if I had any notes for you, just maybe plug in a fan over there. It was an electric dartboard, so we were running power. I could definitely see us hooking up a fan, and just, getting a little bit of air circulation going. Not a joke, Johnny. That was real notes. I wrote it. I have it written right in front of me. Notes for the barbecue. Great food, though. We always get them chicken wings, some smoked turkey. It's a beautiful thing. A lot of people, it's hot dogs and burgers on the 4th. I've done that. It's been a long time, and that's one of the things that really threw me for a loop the second day. Okay, so July 5th. So, like I said, I didn't eat hot dogs. I didn't eat burgers on the 4th of July. A lot of people do. So I'm at work the next day because your boy works in retail, doesn't get the holiday weekends off. Great for you guys that, the 4th falls on a Friday, and it's like, hey, long weekend. Might jet out early Thursday, have Friday off for the 4th, got the weekend off like the usual. Here we go, long weekend. Good for you guys. If you can get it, get it. Okay? I am 100% not the guy that's being like, F you, I should have it too. If I can't have it, no one. Try work at retail. Well, that's the business I'm in, so I get it. That's not a big deal. If you can get it, get it. But here's the thing. I did work on the 5th, early in the morning on the 5th. So I was preparing food in our kitchen at our little gas station. Here I am loading up cheeseburgers, chicken sandwiches. Nobody bought it to that day. They always sell. They did not sell on Saturday the 5th. But pizza slices, holy cow, they were a-flying. And they normally do. It's just it was quite the spike, and I wasn't prepared to not sell cheeseburgers and chicken sandwiches. So, quickly, I get home, kind of like running through the brain, talking out loud, just kind of going through what's up. Yeah, you idiot. People are eating hot dogs and burgers like it's a bowl of candy on the table on the 4th of July. That's the last thing they want on the 5th. So, another note. That's a note for me, Eric. You get a fan, get some circulation going outside on the porch. For darts, I will make a note on the menu for the day after the 4th. Okay? Everybody's learning today. This is now, so we're post 4th. We're in the second half of 2020. This is the dog days of summer, right? Because I was trying to think, what actually is the dog days of summer? Is it not till we get into August where the heat and the sunny days are really starting to wear on us? Is it September? Because September, yeah, it's hot, but I don't quite remember it being, and that's the thing, every year, you go through the different seasons, you go through the year, and you're like, man, it's so hot. It just, I forgot how hot it gets. Or you get to winter, and man, I forgot how cold it gets. I even at my 42 years old, I forget at what point in the summer I start to really get pissed off at the heat. When is that? When's the dog days of summer? I'm counting now. To me, it's like I'm enjoying summer. Summer doesn't technically start till the 20th of June. Shout out me, happy birthday. But like, to me, give me 2 good weeks of technical summer and the heat and all that. After that, man, it's the dog days. And this isn't me saying, hey, I'm a winter guy. No, no. I grew up in Southern California. Bring the heat. I don't like winter. Never got accustomed to it. Despite living the majority of my life in the Midwest, I've never gotten accustomed to it. I hate the cold. These bones be shaking when it gets cold out. I'm telling you right now. These bones be shaking. Johnny's a winter guy, though. He's grew up Omaha, never lived anywhere else, except for you had that short stint in Central Iowa. Were you even there 2 years? Short stint in Central Iowa. But otherwise, yeah, he's He's used to it. Not a big deal to him. Me? These bones be shaking. It gets cold. Well, one of the things that, that was fun about the 4th, and it's nothing to do with the barbecue. The barbecue's fantastic. But one of the things we like to do, too, light up a few fireworks. Nothing crazy. We don't put on the big show. We're in the driveway. We're at the end of the driveway, middle of the street, just lighting up a few here and there. I'm more of like go to the tent and look at the fun marketing on the fireworks because they're a blast. Thank you, Johnny. You were way too slow on that. But they're fun to see. They had like flying pigs, and it was like this kind of plane-looking thing, and there's this pigs with wings, and boy, that one was fun. You light that thing up, and they go into 3 waves, and they spin out of control and fly up in the air. That stuff, you just don't know what you're getting yourself into. Like, I know each firework has a QR code where it'll show you a little video of what it does. Who's watching all those? Are there people actually studying what the firework does before they make the purchase? Or do they buy them and then they're looking at the QR code? Like, who's doing that? I only did the 1, and that's because we lit up like 10 of them, and they were circling out of control, and I was concerned it was going to hit a neighbor's house or our house or something. Can't be having that. It is fun to light the fireworks, though, especially when you have kids. Some people will be like, no, kids. I have teenagers. They're lighting fireworks up under my supervision, and I'm 100% there hovering over them to make sure it's all good. And I will throw myself in between the danger zone if I have to. Now, I don't want to, but I will. But lighting the fireworks is always fun. I enjoy the little show. Get that smoke going. Keep the mosquitoes away. Proven fact, red-haired people attract mosquitoes more than anybody else. This is a fact. Google that shit. But yeah, no, I just love the atmosphere. You got all the other neighbors blowing them up, and it's all around the neighborhood. The drive home from the barbecue is one of the best parts of July 4th because all the fireworks high in the sky. It's a beautiful thing. I love the 4th. Everybody celebrate America's birthday, or another day for your country, your birthday. But I will say, the next day, like I said, I worked on the 5th, so I'm driving home on the 5th. It was like 3:30 in the afternoon, 4 o'clock, something like that. Driving home, I'm driving through my neighborhood. You drive through any neighborhood in America and see this, the day after the 4th of July. And honestly, especially with it falling on a Friday, you can probably see it the days leading up to the 4th, but I know I saw it quite a bit on the 5th. Driving home, next day, afternoon, and there it is at the end of some driveways is the pile of the used firework stuff, which is great. They swept it up. They put it in a nice little pile. I did the same thing. And I know you want to cool it down, right? You don't want to put anything super hot inside your trash can. Could become a fire hazard. Next thing you know, your trash can's on fire, because I'm sure some of you are like, I saw this video, I saw this TikTok, and it had trash cans on fire or piles of whatever on fire because it was still too hot. I'm not debating that at all. I know that's a truth. I didn't have to watch your TikTok to know that. But with that being said, the next day, okay, a full 15, 16 hours after you blew up the fireworks and swept it into a nice little pile at the end of your driveway, you could have thrown it away. I dislike those people. I dislike the people that leave their trash, because what are they waiting for? Every single homeowner in the state of Nebraska, and I'm going to go on a limb and say in the entire Midwest, owns a shovel, at least one shovel and a broom, and has the opportunity to sweep up that mess and put it in the trash can. I'm a guy that does it night of. 4th of July, blowing up fireworks, okay? It's all done. You know what we do? Get a pitcher of water, slowly pour some water on it, cool it off a little bit. Cool it all off. Then we sweep it up. Then we see what's up. If it's too hot still, we'll leave it sitting a little bit. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to clean up the mess. Like, how rude is that to your neighbors? And then, who knows? You may not even clean it up. The wind could blow. And here's the thing. Here in Omaha, Nebraska, on the night of the 4th, overnight, it poured rain. Like, poured rain. So all those hot tubes and whatnot for your fireworks, they were not warm anymore. But how much of that junk blew and washed away into the sewers, into the streets, just making a mess of your neighborhood? I don't know, am I an old guy shaking his fist at the clouds now? Am I getting to that point in my life? It really bothered me. Driving around, seeing all these piles. And the thing that sucks is one of the neighbors that had the pile of trash still sitting outside his driveway late in the afternoon on the 5th. I really respect that guy. He's got this like old vintage Coca-Cola machine, like one of those old pop bottle merchandisers. It might even distribute cans. I'm not even quite sure what package it does, but it looks awesome. And he's got one right outside his garage. He's got old pinball machines in his garage. I always drive by that and they have the garage open. I'm like, that is cool. Like, that guy's got his shit together. And then sure enough, he ruins it all. Leaves that pile of trash. If you're old enough to blow up fireworks, you're old enough to clean up the mess. And do it responsibly. We don't need any trash cans on fire. But clean up your mess. This is the season 3 finale of Laugh With Me. I just want to say thank you to everybody who listens to the show, who downloads the show, who comments, who has maybe told a friend about the show. There's a lot of you. Thousands and thousands of you listen every single episode, and Johnny and I just cannot say thank you enough. I hope you'll continue to listen, and I hope you're enjoying kind of where the show is going. We've got a lot of fun, exciting things for you coming up in season 4, which starts with the next episode. So we are very excited about that. But again, thank you so much to every single one of you that listen. With that being said, one listener in particular, and this guy, I don't know his name. Okay, his username is CZB123. It could be made up. I don't know. Could be an anonymous. It could be somebody I know. It could be, who knows. Left us a comment. And you know what? Thank you for listening, CZB123. I do appreciate you listening. Don't get me wrong. I'm thankful to be able to do this and that people actually listen to it. Frankly, I'm kind of surprised. I'm excited for that. But know what you're getting into when you listen to our episodes. We're not surprising anybody with the content. We've never once, I think, put ourselves out there as too serious of subject matters or tried to be anything that we're not. For example, one of the comments that we got a 5-star review, one of the comments is very simple. Kind of says exactly what we are here. It said, "Great podcast stories. Thank you." There you go. That's what we do. We tell stories. Some are experiences. but some of them 100% fabricated just for your pure entertainment. But the stories is what it's about. It's fun. It's a good listen. It's, you're walking your dog and you get to listen to some funny stories. That's it, right? That's what we do. Here's another comment. This one, DNDFU. So I don't know what that means. He's not a Dungeons & Dragons fan, I'm assuming. But the comment was a little funny. Hey, I'll take a little funny. That's better than not funny at all. I'll take it. But this guy, CZB123, didn't get the memo on what exactly we do here. Here's his comment. Just listen to the episode on how I got Crohn's disease. It was not informative, funny, or dealing with Crohn's. He droned on interminably about CRT televisions. It's true. Go back and listen to the episode if you haven't. How I got Crohn's disease. I explained to you how I got Crohn's disease. And in that episode, I blamed my brother and his big-ass old TV that I had to carry up and down apartment complex stairs over and over again as he was moving houses. This was a long time ago. I firmly believe that was the beginning of how I got Crohn's disease. Now, I'm not scientifically proving this, and I certainly did not tell my doctors that this was how I believe I got Crohn's disease, if that tells you anything. But why did that guy have to do that? Like CZB123, maybe give another episode a listen, and you'll kind of get the gist of what we're doing here. Season 4 is coming up, and I promise you more stories about how I got Crohn's disease. Sorry, brother. Oh, sorry. And new addition to the pod as we go into season 4. He just came back into my life at the 4th of July barbecue. He's somebody that was a big part of my life, somebody that I had to work hard to get back in 2007. And that's this life-size cardboard standee of legendary Hall of Fame coach Mike Ditka. But it's not just any Mike Ditka standees. This is a special standee. See, what it is back in the day, I worked for this grocery store. I was just a young guy. I didn't have much of I had a role. I'm going to say it wasn't an important role. It's just I was a nobody, okay? I wasn't even the buyer for this grocery store. I was the assistant to the buyer of the grocery store, and I got to go to this food show, right? It's just a big arena full of vendors and different items, and you get to make buys for your store and then try to sell it to the people. I purchased a pallet of Mike Ditka's salsa. Look it up. It was a real thing. Mike Ditka's salsa. If I remember correctly, it had 2 different flavor profiles, probably mild and hot. And I bought the pallet of salsa because there at the vendor table, they had this cardboard standee of Coach Mike Ditka in a full poncho and a sombrero holding a jar of his salsa. And it's just funny because he's got this sweet watch you can see coming out from under the poncho. It's just so novel that I had to have it. And so I asked my manager, and I'm like, I have to have that standee. He's like, well, you have to buy a pallet of the Ditka salsa. I'm like, well, let's buy a pallet of Ditka salsa. He's like, well, this is on you. Like, you have to sell that salsa. So I did. I did, in fact, sell all the salsa. And it took a while. Don't get me wrong. I'm not some miracle worker. It took us a while to sell this salsa. And I'm not saying it was the greatest buy in the world, but it was proven to not be the worst buy in the world because I've experienced what worst buy in the world looks like throughout my career, and that certainly ended up not being it. But the big thing is I got the cardboard standee of Coach Mike Ditka in a sombrero. That guy, I got to take him home. Okay, I owned him. And he was a feature at every party I think my friends and I had for years. He went to every fantasy football draft, New Year's party. Like, it was, everybody had to get their picture with Ditka. It was awesome. So I roll up. I haven't seen him in years. At some point, my buddy Mike ended up getting Mike Ditka. Well, then Mike got a job at Nike. He ended up moving across the country. He lived in Oregon. And, Ditka was gone. I just assumed Ditka was gone forever. That was just part of his story. Well, I roll up to the 4th of July barbecue where Mike is not at. And there in the garage is Coach Mike Ditka wearing a sombrero. I couldn't have been more excited, Johnny. And, thankfully, I was able to bring him home where he's now in the podcast studio. So, new permanent fixture of Laugh With Me, Season 4. Coach Mike Ditka wearing the sombrero. Looking forward to that, which just means we're going to have to feature him. I mean, he's going to have to. We got to figure out a way to get Ditka involved in the pod here for Season 4. Johnny, this is officially on you. For better or for worse. That one's officially on you, buddy. All right, well, happy birthday, America. Happy birthday, Japan. Happy birthday, Australia. Happy birthday, France. Happy birthday, Mexico. Happy birthday, Germany. Happy birthday